This show is made possible by JC Media, LLC in Ripley, Mississippi. JC Media owns the Shark 102.3 Classic Rock FM radio station where the show is hosted, and Sun Bear Recording Studio where the interviews are recorded. We need your feedback and support. If you listen to the podcast on a player like iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music, please subscribe to the show and leave us a review. We also have an email in which you can share your feedback. That email is theshark1023@gmail.com. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite app or stream episodes online at shark1023.com/podcasts. Today's episode was produced by Melinda Marsalis. It was edited by Rick Williams and engineered by Chris Marsalis. The podcast technician is Joyce Grady. Cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of the Mississippi Hills that are right in your backyard. And of course, we want you to take the Shark 102.3 FM along for the ride. Musical credit belongs to Hill Country Blues guitar legend Gary Burnside and the late great Buddy Grisham, playing Long Way Home from their album Acoustic Brothers, which was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
This program was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
Hey, Shark fans, it's Melinda with another episode of Heard It on the Shark. And today in Sun Bear Studio, I have Mr. Randle Hall and Mr. Phil Koon, who have come across from the courthouse in Tippah County over to little old Sun Bear Studio to talk to me today about Election Day. Thank you guys for coming over.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Phil, you're new to this office. How have you found it so far?
Found it good. It's interesting.
It's interesting.
Very much.
Yeah, it's a brand new ball game to learn. A lot of stuff and rules, I bet, to learn.
A bunch. It was a learning process for both of us and the commission because, lot of times Randy had everything covered. And now we're having to learn all of that.
Absolutely.
Together.
Anytime you've got an old hand at something, you have no idea what all they're doing without even ever telling you. And then all of a sudden you got to figure it out for yourself. That's a lot to think about. But you're doing great.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're doing great. Okay, now Randle is also, I won't say an old hand, but you've been doing this since 2016, you told me.
Yes.
So this is 8 years for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to keep doing it?
Yeah, as long as I can.
Now, are you elected or do you just get appointed?
No, we're elected.
By the voters?
Yeah.
Okay, by the citizens.
The voters from our district, the district that we serve.
Okay, not the county at large, but just the people
Just for, I'm in the first district, which covers Brownfield, Walnut, Cleveland, Three Forks, Tippersville, and North Faulkner. That's the precincts that, I oversee in the first district.
And you're on the ballot this year?
Yes.
Okay. So all the election commissioners are on the ballot this year?
No, they split our terms. So now it's the first, third, and the fifth district commissioners that are on the ballot. And then last year was the second and the fourth.
I like how they split it up like they do school board people, because you don't want to lose all of, if there was a big turnover, you wouldn't want that to happen all at once. Somebody's got to know what to do, right?
Oh, see, in 2016, when I first got elected, there was all 5 brand new commissioners elected for that term. And we went in there green as a gourd.
Chickens with your head cut off.
Yeah.
Okay, but not anymore because now it's spread out. That's good.
We was one of 3 counties in the state that got all new election commissioners that year. And then it was put in the legislature to get it changed. And so that's where we are now.
I like it. Okay, now, all right, Phil, let's talk about that ballot. What all is on the ballot? Of course, we all know the presidential race is on there. And what's Election Day?
November 5th.
November 5th. Okay, and tell me what's on the ballot besides the presidential election.
Okay, like Randle was talking about, we've got 1st, 3rd, and 5th district election commissioners on the ballot.
Okay.
And with that being said, Randle doesn't have an opponent. He's running unopposed.
Okay.
And Mr. Danny Simmons is the 3rd district election commissioner. He does have one that has turned in a petition, an opponent.
Okay.
And 5th district is Mr. Jimmy Benefield, and he's running unopposed.
Okay, and for all you Shark fans out there, we're all across northeast Mississippi, so we're talking about the Tippah County ballot only, but I'm sure that whatever county, Alcorn County or Prentice County, they can all look online and find out what their ballots say, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And let me mention, Mr. Danny Simmons' opponent is Bruce Alt.
Bruce Alt, okay.
Yeah. He lives out, I think, in Shady Grove community.
Okay.
Or Gracestown.
And those are for the election commission?
Election commissioners. So he will be on the ballot. That was open January the 2nd for qualifying to February the 1st. So that is set.
And is there a school board position?
There's a 5th District School Board in the north and south half. Now the incumbent is in the south half is Mr. Arnold Witt, and the deadline for qualifying for that is September the 6th, which is just a little over a week away. And it could be more people come out, and qualify for that position. But right now we have Mr. Arnold Witt and Branson Von Cannon in the 5th south half, and we have Lonnie Hevener is running in the north half, 5th District School Board. We do have some people that has come into the office and got the petition and on the qualifying papers to run for that position also. But like I said, we still have a little over a week for them to get that information back to us.
Okay. What else is on the ballot?
Other than that, that'll be about it. Walnut, the town of Walnut does have I think a 3% tax levy in the town of Walnut for the people in the town of Walnut. And right now we're in the process of getting it in Sims after the qualifying period ends, which is September the 6th, like I said.
Pretend like I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Mr. Randle probably knows. He's from Walnut, a little bit about the tax levy.
It's a referendum to raise a 3% tax increase for the ongoing construction of the recreation park.
Sales tax?
Yes.
Okay, like a tourism tax?
Yes.
Like Ripley has a tourism tax?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Walnut would have a 3% tax for an undetermined amount of time, or is it
Yeah.
Okay, forever
Well,
until they
I think they'll look at it 10 year. Is it 10 years?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so a sales tax of 3% for 10 years to build this recreational building.
And that's just on food and beverages.
I got you. Food and okay, gotcha. Food
It's
and beverages.
not on groceries or anything like that.
And rooms, I believe, too.
Yeah.
Like hotels.
Oh, you mean restaurant food?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Prepared food, not go to the grocery store food.
Right.
Okay, gotcha. Prepared food and beverage and hotels, very much like a tourism tax is done, but 3%. Okay, to build the recreational building out there.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Very smart. All right, and that's it on the ballot this time?
That's it.
Phil, what else? What have we not talked about?
I look forward to going out to all the high schools and registering all the seniors that'll be 18-year-old, before November the 5th.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yes.
So explain about when you can register to vote.
You can register to vote up till, I think it's September the 7th, be on a Monday to be eligible to vote in the November 5th election. But you don't have to be 18 before September the 7th, just as long as you're 18 before November the 5th. But we've got to get everyone registered before September the 7th.
When my son was a senior in high school, his friend, who was a girl, took him to the courthouse to register to vote, or he would have never registered, and so that's good that you're going out to them.
We've had a bunch of seniors come in the last 3 to 6 months.
That's great.
But we have reached out to Walnut and Faulkner, and we're going there this week, and then looking forward to going, maybe we're going to get with Pine Grove, Ripley, and Blue Mountain next week.
That's fantastic. Okay, guys, that has been so interesting, but there's a whole lot more to talk about, and I want to make sure that we get all this information out to the public. So could you guys come back? The next time I have available is September 24th. Could we come back and do a part 2? Randle, can you come back?
Yes, ma'am. Sure will.
Mr. Phil, can you come back?
Look forward to it.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Shark fans, that's it for this edition of Heard It on the Shark. Thank you to Phil Koon, who is the Tippah County Circuit Clerk, and Randle Hall, who is the Election Commission Chairman for Tippah County. Tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to find out what's going on with our local community leaders. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for an interview, or if you want access to this interview, go to our website, shark1023.com, and click on the podcast tab. Keep it tuned to the Shark 1023 and have a great rest of the day.
The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area was established by the United States Congress in 2009 and represents a distinctive cultural landscape shaped by the dynamic intersection of Appalachian and Delta cultures. This intersection has produced a powerful concentration of nationally significant cultural icons, including King of Rock and Roll Elvis Presley, First Lady of Country Music Tammy Wynette, blues legend Howlin' Wolf, civil rights icons Ida B. Wells Barnett and James Meredith, America's favorite playwright Tennessee Williams, and Nobel laureate William Faulkner. The stories of the Mississippi Hills are many and powerful, from music and literature to Native American and African American heritage to the Civil War. The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area supports the local institutions that preserve and share Northeast Mississippi's rich heritage. Begin your discovery of the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of our region by visiting the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area online at MississippiHills.org.
This show is made possible by JC Media, LLC in Ripley, Mississippi. JC Media owns the Shark 102.3 Classic Rock FM radio station where the show is hosted, and Sun Bear Recording Studio where the interviews are recorded. We need your feedback and support. If you listen to the podcast on a player like iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music, please subscribe to the show and leave us a review. We also have an email in which you can share your feedback. That email is theshark1023@gmail.com. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite app or stream episodes online at shark1023.com/podcasts. Today's episode was produced by Melinda Marsalis. It was edited by Rick Williams and engineered by Chris Marsalis. The podcast technician is Joyce Grady.